Hey guys, welcome to Reddit Brew. Today, I will be reading from the r/JUSTNOMIL subreddit, so let's jump into it. My future Mill called me a little bee with an itch. My partner, 25-year-old male, and I, 23-year-old female, are not married, but I still need to vent about his mother. For a little backstory, his father passed away a few years ago. His mother attended a grief group, found a boyfriend within a few months after her husband's death, and has now married him and moved in with him. She did not give my boyfriend a heads up that she would be getting married or involve him whatsoever, and she now lives with her new husband and her husband's child from his previous marriage. She refers to them as her family and constantly posts about her outings with them on Facebook, which my boyfriend is never invited to. Unsurprisingly, her new husband is extremely wealthy, and she constantly brags about expensive gifts and vacations. While my boyfriend and I are okay financially, we work our butts off to scrape by. She complains that she does not see us enough, even though she only contacts us to hang out midweek/midday while we are working. She's never had a full-time job, so she does not understand that we cannot hang out whenever she wants. When she does see us, she complains about her new husband and his son and often claims that she's going to leave him. They've only been married for 6 months. She also constantly criticizes my boyfriend for almost everything he does, even though he has a good full-time job, a house, and is putting himself through college. He is a lovely person, and my entire family absolutely adores him, as do I. It is also worth noting that his mother does not have many good relationships in her life. She hates all of her siblings and has disowned several family members. That brings us to the current situation. Ever since she moved in with her new husband, she's been asking my boyfriend to take her old house / offering to give him the house. As my boyfriend and I have become more serious, I've been involved in these plans as well, and even put in my 60 days notice to my apartment complex in preparation to move in. It should also be noted that my boyfriend has his own house, which is worth more than his mother's house. While it is very kind of her to offer us a house, she is not doing us a favor, and she is the one who has constantly asked us to move in. She's also mentioned many times that she wants us to have the house so it stays in the family. So it's not like we're even the ones benefiting from this transaction. This past weekend, we began moving into the house. I am also applying to medical school right now while working a full-time job, and my boyfriend works a full-time job and is a full-time college student. I think it should be understandable that we cannot get everything moved in at once. She has started coming to the house unannounced almost every day, commenting on how our stuff is everywhere. Why does she care? She doesn't live there. She refuses to disconnect her Ring doorbell and constantly comments on what time we get home and the friends that we have over. She has left so many of her things here, and the walls are covered with her pictures. Worst of all, now that we have most of our things moved in, she is now refusing to sign the house over to my boyfriend, which she said she would do when she asked us to move in. It seems like she wants us to occupy the house and pay the bills while it remains her house in almost every way. Yesterday, things really came to a head. I am in one of the most stressful parts of the medical school application process, and trying to move into a house where I feel watched and unwelcome is taking a toll on my mental health and my applications. My mother, who is my best friend and would defend me with her life, texted her. They have had a friendly relationship, and they often talk about how good my boyfriend and I are for each other. She said, "I'm not sure if you know, but OP has 8 medical school applications due tomorrow. If there is anything you can do to make this time less stressful for her, please do." Basically, very nicely telling her to please back off. Immediately, she called my boyfriend while I was also in the car. She was upset about hearing from my mother and started criticizing my boyfriend. I said hello and asked what exactly she is upset with my boyfriend about. The only thing she named was that y'all left cups everywhere, and that she is tired of my boyfriend procrastinating with moving into the house. This conversation went on for an hour. She told my boyfriend she is done, and I said, "I'm sorry, But what does that even mean? That you are done with him? Done with the situation? That is not okay to say. I was standing up for my boyfriend. She threatened to check herself into a mental hospital, started crying about missing her deceased husband, and hung up on us. She then called back and said, OP, I didn't have a problem with you before, but I do now. You're being a little bitch. At this point, my boyfriend got very angry and told her it is unacceptable to speak to me that way. Then she said, you know what? You two need to pack your things tonight and get out of my house. Then she hung up and would not answer any calls or texts. One thing I did, which I regret, is, at this point, I sent her the definition of stonewalling, a narcissistic behavior, because I believe that is what she was doing. She eventually called to backpedal and say that she would never actually kick us out of the house. And then we didn't speak to her for the rest of the night. My mother continued texting with her though. To my mother, she accused me of talking for my boyfriend and being disrespectful, to which my mother said, it does not matter. You do not threaten my daughter. You are a grown woman, and she is 23 years old. I told my boyfriend that, regardless of what happens next, I do not think that the house she is giving us is a stable place for us to live. We have already made plans to move into his house together, and we are getting our things out of her house this weekend. Tonight, her husband texted my boyfriend, saying that he needs to meet with his mother in person, which I agree with. I was happy that someone was being rational in this situation. However, he then went on to say that if she were to apologize for calling me a little bitch, I would need to apologize for calling her a bad mother and diagnosing her as a narcissist. I am just not sure where this situation is going to go or what I want to do. She blocked my family on Facebook and has not spoken to me since the conversation when she called me a little bitch. I'm still trying to complete my applications, and I told my boyfriend I am not willing to meet with her before they are done. He is supposed to go talk to her tomorrow, and I'm scared that she's going to continue to talk over him and not let him say what he needs to say. We're still at her house right now, but we are planning to move everything back to his house this weekend. I do not want to have a bad relationship with my male, but I find her behavior unacceptable, and given her history of lashing out at people in the past, I do not feel safe around her. There is a large chance that I will move away for medical school and my boyfriend will come with me, and I do not want to leave things like this. However, I am not going to compromise my values, dignity, or mental health to appease her. Look, I'm not gonna lie, I saw this whole scenario from a mile away. Rule number 1, never, ever take any offerings from a narcissist. They will hold it above your head, and as perfectly displayed in this story, as soon as you cross them or make them mad, they will take whatever they have given you right out from under your feet as a punishment. Also, why the hell would you move in before the house was signed over to you? They saw the red flags and moved in anyways. I'm sorry, but OP and her husband are partially to blame for this one. I'm glad though that at the end, they did learn their lesson and are going to move out. Albeit though, it did take a huge, unnecessary do-si-do to get there, but at least they did. It is forgivable because OP and her husband are very young and don't see it yet, but I think limited contact with this mother is a good idea. But anyways, that is all for me today. I hope you enjoyed that Just No Mail story. If you did, please leave a like and subscribe. I truly appreciate when you do, and I will see you in the next Reddit story. Bye!